Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review for y'all on the Autoglym Polar Kit. So in the kit, you get the Autoglym Polar Blast Snow Foam Pre-Wash. Next, you get the Polar Wash Snow Foam Contact Wash, so sort of a shampoo. And last, we have the Polar Seal, which is a snow foam protectant. I'm going to be showing you how to use these products and then tell you what I think about them at the end. So with all that, sit back and let's get started. The Autoglym Polar Kit costs a little over 500 Rand or about $25 to $30, and you get everything you need to do a pre-wash, contact wash, and a protection stage. And they work with different dilution ratios, which I'll walk you through as I go along. So what's special about the Polar Kit is that all three of these products are used in a foam cannon. So first up, we have the Polar Blast. This is a traditional snow foam pre-wash that you'll use in a foam cannon. They say to use 100 ml of product with 500 ml of water, which will give you 600 ml of solution, which is plenty to cover a normal sized vehicle. Spraying the Polar Blast onto the car. As you can see, it's very thick, one of the thickest snow foams I've ever used, and its dwell time is exceptional. Using a pre-wash helps to loosen any dirt on the vehicle and remove it before beginning your contact wash to minimize swirls and scratches. Also, the Polar Blast is pH neutral, so it won't strip your waxes or sealants. After applying the Polar Blast and letting it dwell for an adequate amount of time, you then pressure wash it off. The Polar Blast snow foam is one of the best snow foams I've used, and it does a great job at removing the loose dirt. Next up, we have the Polar Wash. So this is the contact wash sort of, but you don't use it in a bucket, you use it once again in a snow foam cannon. They say to use a 50-50 dilution ratio and that about 250 ml will be enough to cover the whole car. So they want you to use up to 125 ml per car, so I dropped that down a little to about 100 ml just to keep it even. And then I topped up my foam cannon. So spraying it onto the car, it's definitely not as thick as the Polar Blast, but of course this is a contact wash solution, so it needs to be a bit more runny to aid in lubrication. So they say that the Polar Wash can be sprayed on and then rinsed off, and if you need to, you can agitate it. I went around with a wash mitt and agitated it. They don't say that you need a rinse bucket, but I did rinse my wash mitt off every few panels. Also guys, before you start, try to work out of direct sunlight, and the surface of your paint should be cool to the touch. So once you're done washing the car from top to bottom, you can pressure wash it off. Also, just a quick disclaimer, they say none of these products should be used on soft top convertibles. So guys, using the Polar Wash, it was very slick to use. The lubrication was great, as you'd expect from having so much foam on the car, but even feeling the foam, it did have a good slickness to it. The Polar Wash also did a very good job at cleaning. Now the reason for this is because it was designed to be a spray and rinse off product. So it was just meant to be sprayed onto the car, loosen all the dirt, and then rinsed off. You only need to agitate it if there is any stubborn dirt, which I did. Now, it accomplishes this by not being pH neutral. So the Polar Wash actually has a pH of a little over 12. So the benefit of this is that it's a very good cleaner, but then the downside is that it will strip your waxes and sealants. Now, I'm not saying it will completely strip them, but it will deteriorate them a bit more than a pH neutral soap. Once you've completed your 2 wash stages, it's now time to protect your car with the Polar Seal. Before using the Polar Seal, make sure you clean your snow foam cannon because you don't want any of that wash solution to interfere with the Polar Seal. So just a quick look at the water behavior on the paint just to show you that it doesn't really have any protection on it. The water is lying very flat. It's not beading or sheeting, so you know that there's no protection. So we're going to put the Polar Seal on it now and see how much of a difference it makes. So for the Polar Seal, once again, you're going to be using it in the foam cannon. They say to add 40 ml of product and then use at least 200 ml of water. Once again, spraying it over the entire car. When you're spraying this product on, I thought it was actually done wrong because it wasn't like laying a thick blanket of foam on the car. But when I rinsed it off, it did actually work. So it's supposed to be applied like this. So when you're spraying it on, it looks like the product is immediately beading itself off the paint. So don't get worried, it's supposed to look like this. So once you cover the entire car with the Polar Seal, you pressure wash it off thoroughly, and then just like that, your car is washed and protected in 3 easy steps. So guys, after using the Polar Seal, immediately there was protection on the car. You can clearly see it. The water is beading so rapidly. I was very impressed. So doing a quick water test, you can see the water is no longer sticking to the paint. Having a closer look at the beads, you can see that they're super tight and you just love to see it. And I was very impressed by this product. I didn't expect it to beat water that well. So the Polar Seal definitely did its job. Okay guys, before I give you my final thoughts on each of these products, a quick tip on using them. So each of these products have a different dilution ratio, and they say to top up your foam cannon with different amounts of water each time, and then to adjust your dilution ratio on the top of your foam cannons to accommodate for that to cover your entire car. Now that gets a bit confusing, and the thing I just did was use the amount they recommended and then topped up my foam cannon to the amount I know I needed to cover the entire car. So I know my foam cannon, if I fill it up halfway and then put it on its max setting, will be able to cover an average size car. So for the Polar Blast, I used 100 mils, topped up my foam cannon halfway, and then went around the entire car. So for the Polar Wash, they say to use a 50-50 dilution ratio. So if I used 100 mils of product, I would need 100 mils of water. And I know 200 mils is not enough to cover an entire car with my foam cannon. They say to adjust the top of your foam cannon so that you can accommodate that. But instead of doing that, I say just dilute it in the bottle and then leave your foam cannon on your max setting. So once again, I used 100 mils of the Polar Wash and topped it up with 400 mils of water, because I know that if I top up my foam cannon to halfway, that's enough to do the entire car. Whether you dilute it in the foam cannon or use the dilution knob on the top of the foam cannon to dilute it, it doesn't make a difference. So what I'm trying to say is don't worry too much about the dilution ratios. As long as you use the correct amount of product they say to use per car, and you top up your foam cannon to the amount you know you need to cover your entire car comfortably, where there isn't any product left over and you're not running out halfway, don't worry about adjusting your foam cannon air to water ratio to dilute it. Just dilute it in the bottle, you'll be fine. Also guys, make sure you don't overuse these products, and I mean like making them too concentrated, especially in the case of the Polar Wash and the Polar Seal. You're just going to have negative effects. So guys, I think that this is a fantastic kit and that all three of these products did an excellent job. This really is the easiest way to pre-wash, wash, and protect your car, and gives you great results in the process. This product saves a lot of time, and I definitely would recommend it to anyone to check it out. So guys, just finishing off then, going through all the products, the Polar Blast, I think it's an amazing snow foam. I've been using it for actually a very long time before I actually tried out the Polar Wash and Polar Seal. I think it's fantastic. It does a great job of loosening dirt. It's very thick on the car. It dwells for a long time, and it's pH neutral. The Polar Wash, also fantastic. Great lubrication on the paint. The actual foam is very slick. So the Polar Wash is designed to be sprayed onto your car and then rinsed off after letting it dwell for some time. You can agitate it if you want to. So as I said, it does have a high pH, so that means it will clean very well, but then it also will sort of deteriorate your existing waxes and protections on your car more so than a pH neutral soap. So you don't want any of these products drying on your car, but you especially don't want the Polar Wash drying on your car because it is a stronger chemical, as I said. So the only sort of downside to the Polar Wash is that it's not pH neutral, but it's designed to be like that because it's meant to be sprayed onto your car and then rinsed off. Now, if it was pH neutral, it wouldn't be able to clean your car in that method. All in all, I think it's a fantastic product, and it does save a lot of time in the contact wash stage. Finally, we have the Polar Seal, and I actually was blown away of how it looked on the paint. So firstly, the immense water beading that it had, I was very impressed by that. I didn't expect it to do that well, actually. For something that you put into a foam cannon, spray in your car and rinse off to protect the entire car that quickly, I was very, very impressed. So the Polar Seal, they say not to spray directly onto the glass because it can leave hazing, and to also follow up with the glass cleaner afterwards if there is. I actually did spray it purposely onto the glass to see what would happen, and me personally, I didn't see any hazing or anything. I didn't even have to use a glass cleaner afterwards, so that's a disclaimer they have, but I'm just saying I did it and I was fine. So the durability of the Polar Seal, I didn't actually test. It's probably not going to be that good, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to be applying this on a regular basis. However, it doesn't really matter because you can just top up your protection in just a few minutes. It's definitely one of the easiest, if not the most easy protection to apply to your car. Also guys, I was blown away by the shine it gave on the car. I really didn't expect something that you could spray on with a foam cannon to make the car look this good. And as you can see from the shots, it's looking fantastic. It actually gave that car that sort of wet look like it's been freshly waxed by hand. Well guys, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like and also subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss my future videos. Feel free to leave a comment down below, tell me what you think of these products or if you have any questions on them. Also guys, feel free to follow me on my Instagram page. I'll leave a link in the description below. And well, with all that guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.